What's up friends, in today's video we are going to look over some past paper questions about ionic compounds. If you would like to go through all the concepts about an ionic compound instead, you can click on the link below to watch that video. I'll also leave another link below for the questions that we will use today so you can follow along if you'd like. First question. This question is about ionic compounds. A. The table shows the formulae of some positive and negative ions, and the formulae of some compounds containing these ions. Then we see this table. Part 1. Complete the table by giving the 3 missing formulae. 3 marks. Basically 1 mark for each compound. So this goes back to understanding what the charges on the top right of each symbol means. Just a brief overview, a plus or minus tells us whether the ion has lost or gained electrons, and the number tells us how many electrons they've lost or gained. Let's work out how magnesium can combine with this nitrate ion. Magnesium has a 2+ charge, meaning it has lost 2 electrons. Nitrate, which has an NO3-, has a -1 charge, so it will gain 1 electron. Currently, we can see that the number of electrons lost by the magnesium and gained by the nitrate are not the same. To make them the same, we need to double the number of nitrate ions, so that in total there is now 2 electrons to be gained and lost. So because 2 nitrate ions are needed to gain all of the electrons lost from magnesium, we can show this by writing MgNO3 bracket 2. How do we know we need a bracket? Without a bracket, it will look like we're only doubling the oxygen, but that's not true. We need to double the whole nitrate ion because it is the whole nitrate ion that will be gaining the electron and not just the oxygen. You can think about the nitrate and other complex ions as if they were package deals. Everything in these ions will be affected, and we'll need to do the same for the other 2 compounds. Just to save us some time, I will go ahead and answer the rest of the table. And that's it for part 1. Part 2. Give the name of the compound with the formula NH4NO3, 1 mark. NH4 refers to NH4+, the ammonium ion, and NO3 refers to the NO3-, which is the nitrate ion. Therefore, the name of this compound is just ammonium nitrate. B. Sodium oxide, N2O, is an ionic compound. The sodium and oxide ions are held together by ionic bonds. Part 1. State the meaning of the ionic term ionic bond, 2 marks. This is one of those questions that's best to just memorize because the answer is the same whenever it comes up. 1 mark goes to saying it is the electrostatic attraction, and the other mark goes to saying between oppositely charged ions. Alternatively, you could also say between positive and negative ions, whichever one is easier for you. Part 2. The diagram shows the arrangement of the electrons in a sodium atom and in an oxygen atom. Then we have 2 diagrams here. Draw diagrams in the boxes to show the arrangement of the electrons in the ions of sodium oxide. Include the charges of the ions, 3 marks. First, we need to consider the electron arrangement for the 2 sodium atoms turned ions. Because there is 1 outermost electron, chances are 1 electron will be lost from each sodium atom to become the ions. So we can illustrate it by drawing a regular sodium ion to begin with. Now, normally this would be enough to get the marks. However, because this question explicitly stated that we need to include not only the charges, but also the electron configuration, so that means we need to do extra stuff for this question by drawing the inner circles, which represents the electron shells, together with their electrons. Next up is the oxygen atom. Based on its electron configuration, it will most likely gain electrons to become the oxide ion. So to answer this question, we just need to draw the ion like so, a regular oxide ion. Now again, normally this is enough, but because the question is asking to explicitly show the charges and the electron configuration, we also need to show the inner electrons to give us the diagram instead. Last question for this video. It's not linked to the other questions, but I figured we should go over it because it does pop up often in exams. Part 2. The melting point of potassium sulfate is 1069 degrees. Explain why potassium sulfate has a high melting point and refer to the structure and bonding in your answer, 4 marks. For this question, the first thing to do is to identify whether or not the compound is covalent or ionic. To get the thought process on this, I'll leave a link to the video where we went through it, But in this case, because we know it's ionic, the answers are set. The first mark goes to stating potassium sulfate has a giant ionic structure. Second is to define ionic bonds again. There is an electrostatic attraction between oppositely charged ions. The third is to mentioning that ionic bonds are strong, and the fourth is a large amount of energy is required to break those bonds. That's it. Quick word before we go, guys. Can I ask you a favor? If you found this video useful, can I ask you to subscribe or like this video? It would help the channel grow, and in return, I'll make sure that the bigger the channel gets, the better the content gets. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!